We all know Samsung for their flagship smartphones like the Galaxy S and Note series, and we know this for good reason. These phones are pretty much the cream of the crop in the upper echelons of Android devices. But Samsung doesn't only make high-end flagships, they make mid-range phones too. Unfortunately, in a segment of the market dominated by the likes of Xiaomi and Honor that offer incredible value for money, Samsung's mid-range Galaxy A lineup has never really caught the attention of the gadget enthusiasts. This year though, Samsung's got an all-new line of Galaxy A devices that's looking to change that. Have they succeeded? Well, nearly. Meet the Samsung Galaxy A5 2017. It's the South Korean electronics giant's latest mid-range handset that's designed to bring premium down to a more affordable price point. Right off the bat, you're getting a 5.2-inch Full HD Super AMOLED display, and in typical Samsung fashion, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's got great viewing angles, nice vibrant colors, and excellent brightness. Inside, you're getting an Exynos 7880 octa-core processor mated to 3GB of RAM and 32GB of expandable storage, which is average at best. In a practical situation, it translates to a smooth but not particularly snappy overall experience, which is okay. However, all of those specs are encased in what has to be one of the best builds at this price point. Its concoction of glass and metal is very reminiscent to that of the Galaxy S7, and that's awesome. But the feel isn't all that the A5 shares with its more expensive cousin. The Galaxy A5 is also one of the very few smartphones at this price point to have IP68 dust and water resistance, something that I think is a pretty big selling point. Add that to the fact that the phone comes with a fingerprint sensor, great battery life from a 3000 mAh cell with support for fast charging, and you've got a pretty solid handset for 1,699 ringgit. But it seems that Samsung just couldn't resist putting in a big flaw, and on the A5, it's the terribly sluggish camera. On paper, the 16-megapixel f1.9 aperture shooter should be awesome, but it isn't, at least not as a smartphone camera. Focusing is slow and low-light shots end up rather grainy. To make matters worse, the lack of optical image stabilization makes shooting with this in low light a nightmare of handshake blur. At least there is some good news for selfie lovers, because the Galaxy A5 does have a 16MP front camera, and that's pretty serviceable. Usually this isn't enough to really kill the Galaxy A5. Its pros still outweigh the cons, and if you're looking for a mid-range device from a big brand, this is a good choice. However, Samsung's A5 isn't the only mid-range smartphone from a major brand. This time, Samsung's got a challenger, and it comes from China's largest smartphone manufacturer. Meet the OPPO R9s. For about 100 ringgit more, you're getting a 5.5-inch Full HD AMOLED display in front with a Snapdragon 625 processor running on the inside. RAM has been bumped up to 4GB, while internal storage gets doubled to a generous 64GB. What's more, you can further expand this via a microSD card. However, unlike the Galaxy A5, you don't get a dedicated microSD slot on the R9s. This means that you'll have to choose between 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM and 1 microSD. Battery capacity also gets a boost, as the R9s comes packing a 3100 mAh unit that supports OPPO's VOOC flash charge fast charging technology. That's one of the fastest fast charging standards in the world, and the phone's speed doesn't stop there. It also has one of the fastest fingerprint sensors in the market right now. And then we come to the camera. Much like the A5, the R9s also comes with a pair of 16-megapixel shooters, one in front and one at the back. However, the R9s's primary camera comes with dual PDAF autofocusing technology. It's supposed to help the camera focus quickly, and at least compared to the A5, it definitely works. While image quality is comparable, the R9s's snappy performance definitely gives it the edge here. It is also a well-built phone that has a slim profile and the glorious cold touch of metal. But the R9s isn't water resistant, nor does it feel quite as robust as its competitor. The R9s definitely isn't without drawbacks too. VOOC flash charging, for example, is only compatible with a VOOC cable and VOOC power brick. That means even if you're charging it with Qualcomm's quick charge power banks or power bricks, you won't be getting any kind of fast charging at all. Samsung's A5 doesn't have this problem. Then there's the software, which I'm personally not a big fan of. I definitely prefer the Galaxy A5's TouchWiz with its always-on display and Samsung Pay capabilities. If you were to lay down everything, these two phones would probably be trading blows for days, which can make it really hard for a consumer to pick one. In the end, it really boils down to what you want the phone to do. For me, of the two, I'd pick the Galaxy A5. I think it looks better, I think it feels better, and I like that it's water resistant too. Plus, it's got a more intuitive UI and wider support for fast charging standards. Sure, I won't be too happy about the camera experience, but the R9s's camera doesn't provide a significant enough improvement over the A5 to make up for its other weaknesses.